On inCycle this week, the new kids on the block, Matt Pryor's One Pro Cycling.
We're not out to compete against Team Sky. Team Sky is a completely different animal, and they, I must say, are one of the main reasons I'm involved in cycling.
We talk to the contenders before the 99th Giro d'Italia.
It's cycling. I mean, I love Italian cycling, the passion for the sport, the history.
But first, we're at altitude with Team LottoNL-Jumbo. The beauty of the Giro d'Italia. It's there for all to see on the surface, but there's much more to the battles that will be fought on Italy's mountains that meets the eye. 3 weeks of testing racing with stages at altitude require plenty of preparation on similar terrain.
The most important reason is that we're here at altitude. We're here at 2,100 and something meters above sea level. So you can say that we're in thin air, meaning there's much less oxygen around. And your body's going to adapt to that. So how does it do it? Your body's screaming for oxygen, so it's trying to fix that problem by making more red blood cells. One of the important effects of altitude training is more red blood cells, which means better oxygen transport, which means you ride faster. The second point is that there are some other adjustments in the muscles themselves. One important change is that your vein system, you can say the small road system in your muscles that transports blood to every cell, is getting, you can say, more B roads, so that the road system will become better as well. So basically these physiological reasons are why training at altitude is good for you.
First of all, you have less oxygen here at altitude, so less oxygen means you'll become fatigued faster, so you can do less than normal. The adjustment takes place over 3 weeks, so that will become better and better, and you'll profit from this in a later stage during a race. I also think, because we ride uphill all the time, we train specifically for things to come in the Giro.
The duration of the training is also important to ensure that the body and muscles can adjust without damage.
We're here for 3 weeks. I wouldn't say that's the optimal time for it, but it's the minimum amount of time that has an effect on your body. And at the end of that time, it's actually still unclear if you're completely adjusted because you're still riding slower. But then you do it at sea level. So we use the first week as an adjustment week, then we start to train like we do at home. And then when you go back to sea level, most of the riders are extremely good right from the start. Then it could be that you'll get a lesser phase for about a week, and then you'll become strong again. And it's easy to hold that for 3 weeks to a month.
Well, we have long days here, on the bike. We leave for training around 10 AM, and are back around 3 or 4 PM. Then we rest, get a massage, maybe read a book or watch a movie, and call back home. But that's it.
It isn't just the training, riding and battle against the tough gradients on Tenerife's Mount Teide that produces improvement, but recovery is also vital.
We sleep here at an altitude of almost 2,200 meters above sea level. That is an extra pressure on the training for an athlete. Besides that, we are here for 3 weeks, training in good weather, mostly uphill. You have to climb up this hill every day. And it's quiet here. Your recovery, everything is for the preparations for the Giro. So my focus is 100% on that. There is hardly any distraction. That can be boring sometimes, but it's for the best.
The scientific benefits are clear, but how much one gains from the experience tends to differ.
There is a lot of difference in how riders perform back at sea level. In the case of these guys that are here now, Martin Keizer and Esteban Chaves, we know exactly how they react when they go back to sea level. You try to gather as much information as possible and then plan your altitude training to that information, when you are going and when you come back, before you want to peak. It is boring, so you completely focus yourself on your training. And it's all useful in a cycling race, especially one like the Giro, which lasts 3 weeks.
In the world of cycling, one is becoming more than just a number. To understand more about One Pro Cycling, it's helpful to learn a little about the man behind it. For just about any sports person, finding a new focus in life after retirement can be a struggle. Luckily, former England cricket wicket-keeper Matt Pryor had cycling.
Actually, it was the wicket-keeping that led me to cycling because it did so much damage to my Achilles. I was having to find another way other than running of staying fit and getting rights to carry on playing cricket. When my cricket career came to an end due to that injury, actually, that got me on the bike in the first place, there was an opportunity to start up One Pro Cycling and try and do something slightly different in the world of professional cycling. And I was fascinated by how one sport differs from another and how much transfer there potentially could be from the cricket world to the cycling world. And I was very fortunate to be involved with England cricket in probably one of its most successful eras, from 2009 onwards. And really I've sort of stolen that model of what we went through as a team and brought that over to One Pro Cycling to see if it does and can be successful in a different sport. And so far, it's going in the right direction, hopefully.
Pryor is a man with a lot of ambition. With an outsider's perspective as well, he wants One Pro Cycling to become something different. In a sport where teams can disappear overnight, establishing a more sustainable model, perhaps similar to that of a football club, is the big aim. And like in football, the fans will be at the heart and soul of it all and be the draw that entices financial backing. It means that the team's success will be judged not just on its number of wins.
I think within the world of cycling, a lot of people follow individuals. They follow Chris Froome or Mark Cavendish. But do they follow a team that they are proud of and passionate about? And that was the idea behind it, was creating a team that was for fans, for members, very accessible, very open, and trying to engage with people and giving them a lot more back. From day one, we decided we didn't want to sell total sponsorship. One Pro Cycling will be One Pro Cycling for its duration. And I think that's important because we want the team to exist in years to come. We want our riders to have ridden for a team that still exists, and you can build an allegiance and a loyalty from a fan base.
Since its launch in February 2015, fans have been invited to become formal members of the One Pro team, much like buying a season ticket in other team sports. With the fans so close to everything One Pro Cycling does, the riders have a special part to play, and not just on the bike.
Being a professional sportsman is a 24/7 job. It's not just ride your bike 6 hours hard as you can, get off your bike, jump in a coach and disappear. You know, take that time to socialise with fans, sign a few autographs. Twitter, social media is such an important part of professional sportsman's life these days, the accessibility. If someone tweets you saying well done, it takes 10 seconds to reply and say thanks a lot, keep supporting us. But you'll have a fan for life.
For a British team aiming to attract undivided supporter loyalty, particularly of British fans, there's a potential rival to contend with. With Team Sky having delivered success in Britain over the last few seasons, there could be competition.
We're not out to compete against Team Sky. Team Sky is a completely different animal, and they, I must say, are one of the main reasons I'm involved in cycling, because they set in motion this wave of cycling fans and momentum within the UK from a cycling point of view through all their success. Without a shadow of doubt, they're leading the way, but I do think it's important that there are other teams in the UK following behind them or pushing them or making sure that there is another team out there that people can support and get behind.
And One Pro Cycling could be riding against Team Sky more regularly in the future. Having made the jump in divisions to Pro Continental after just one season, the next step could be the World Tour.
Our goal is, obviously with the UCI reforms as well, it sort of looks like you want to get in for 2017, which might be a bit sooner than we had first planned, but you know, we are going, you know, 100% to do that. We would love to be a World Tour team in 2017. But what we won't do is make the jump if it's too soon. We won't just do it because it looks good. We will do it because it's the right step.
For some in the cycling community, the One Pro dream presents a big challenge to how cycling has always done things. But the man behind it all is encouraging people to embrace the project, saying it may reshape the sport for the better and give it a stronger future.
Cycling is a hugely traditional sport, and we're massively respectful of that. Cricket is as well, so I know how that can be, but it doesn't mean it can't improve. It doesn't mean you can't look at it and look to do things slightly differently. Right, okay? You know, just because that's been done for however many years doesn't mean we can't adapt it, change it. And that, as I say, is on the bike, but probably more importantly off the bike as well, from a commercial rationale.
In a most storied race, Chapter 99 is ready to be written. It's time for the Giro d'Italia. For 21 days this month, the world's best will fight it out between Apeldoorn and Turin, and it's sure to be a thriller. This year's Corsa Rosa has an abundance of plot lines to captivate the cycling world. The returning champion ready to prove he's still the nation's golden boy. The varied parkour that could reward the opportunists, and an undercard of the fastest men on earth. Marcel Kittel is back at the Giro, and it seems to his thunderous form of 2014. At the Giro's Irish race start, nobody could stop the German. 2 sprint stages, 2 wins, a perfect record, until he was forced to abandon with illness on stage 4.
That was disappointing when I got sick, because the first stages they went so well. I felt really good in that year in the Giro, and it would have been great to be able to continue, but yeah, sometimes that's it. The weather was tough in Ireland, and I think I had to pay for that, I think.
There's an impressive list of fast men ready to make it difficult over the 8 stages marked for sprint finishes. Not more so than the diminutive figure of Caleb Ewan. A legacy of this year's Giro could be a rivalry for years to come. But the 21-year-old is still a Giro rookie. Last year's Vuelta a España experienced a mixed affair with a stage win, but a race that ended just 9 days in.
It wasn't really disappointing when I had to pull out, because going into it I always knew that was the point I needed to get to. I think I would have been a bit more disappointed if I only could last, you know, a week or so. But yeah, it was a bit of an eye-opener for me, and now I know what to expect going into a Grand Tour. So, you know, the experience part of it was also great, not just the winning part of it. For now, I'm just looking at stages. You know, it's going to be really hard because there's already, you know, some top guys that they've said they're going, so it's definitely not going to be easy, but yeah, I hope to go there and really be up there and sort of, I don't know, going for podiums and hopefully wins as well.
Ewan looks set to be a nuisance for Kittel, and the challenge doesn't stop there. Arnold Dimar, Elia Viviani and the ultra-consistent Andre Greipel pose a combined thread of form and Giro experience.
I think in the Giro we will have a lot of sprinters. They all showed in the last races that they are strong. Caleb will be one of them. He is definitely a strong rider, so we definitely will have him you know, on our mind when it comes to the final.
With this stack of talent, the bunch sprints will be anything but boring. Yet they'll still remain a side dish to the main prize on offer, the Maglia Rosa. A look at Vincenzo Nibali's palmarès shows that there's nothing for him left to prove. Yet the Shark of Messina was one of the first to declare his interest in riding the Giro for the first time since his winning year of 2013. After a near disastrous 2015, Thinking Pink may help Nibali regain his status as Italian cycling's crown prince.
For me, the Giro is a big priority, because I haven't ridden it for 2 years. So to ride amongst my people will give me extra motivation. So this season, the Giro is really important for me.
It's hard to see a better rounded GC contender in this year's field than Nibali, capable of putting in as much time into his rivals on the descents as climbs and time trials. The 31-year-old knows how to scrap for every second. But keeping his emotions in check will be crucial if he's to repeat the glory of his past victory.
There's quite a few key stages. Definitely the last week will be the most demanding. Also, the stages around the Dolomites will be the ones where you can pull away from the group and will determine the race, but we'll have to wait and see further down the line.
And Nibali's not the only rider in the field to have basked in Giro glory. Ryder Hesjedal's dramatic victory in 2012 may be becoming a distant memory to some, but the unassuming Canadian lives for the Giro. Able to rescue a 5th place last year from a disaster of a first week, it's clear the race can inspire something great in the Trek Segafredo man.
You know, it's the Giro. I mean, you just, ever since the first one I did, it's cycling. I mean, I love Italian cycling, the passion for the sport, the history. When you have good days in Italy, I mean, it's like nothing else. So, obviously, to win the Giro, I mean, that's, I don't know if it gets much better. I mean, I don't even know if winning the Tour would be better. I mean, it's, to me, you know, I won the Giro, so I have that, and you know, it's very special to me, and I know the race, and you know, I want to go there and perform for the fans, and always push and show, you know, show for the race.
Looking for that first-time experience of the Italian fans at their biggest race is Alejandro Valverde at the ripe old age of 36. Since 2009, a second Grand Tour victory has been the clear hole in a glittering palmarès, and this Giro could prove to be one of his last chances. Stage 15's climber's time trial to Alpe di Siusi presents a great opportunity for Valverde to gain valuable seconds. The question is, can Movistar guide the Spaniard through the trials and tribulations of a Grand Tour? A squad that certainly knows how to win Grand Tours is Team Sky. Their leader will be Mikel Landa, the breakthrough rider of last year's race. Picking up 2 stage wins, it's clear that Landa thrives in the mountains. Meanwhile, a move to Sky finally gives the Basque rider the chance to lead his own team into battle.
It's a new experience for me, but I feel really comfortable with the team. They are supporting me very well, so it's a good motivation for being the leader of this team. I feel some pressure, but it's normal. No, I like it. I'm the leader of the team, and I like this pressure. I think it's a hard Giro, like always. For me, for sure, if I had a final stage with a climb, it's better. We don't have it, but I think the hard stages have a lot of meters of climbing, so it's gonna be a hard Giro.
There is a question mark, and that hangs over his time trialling ability, something he will have worked on over the winter in an effort to improve last year's 3rd place. Time trials are no problem for Tom Dumoulin, though. This time last year, few would have considered him a GC contender. A sensational Vuelta has some talking of Dumoulin as a Giro challenger. However, both rider and team have suggested the focus will be on wins and the 3 time trial stages. With the start in his native Netherlands, few would look past the Maastricht native to stamp his authority on the race in the first stage. Another name that turned heads in the last Grand Tour of 2015 was Esteban Chaves. Hoping to repeat the exploits of compatriot Nairo Quintana 2 years ago, the man from Bogota has 2 previous Giro experiences to call back on. Expectation has never been higher on his small shoulders, yet it's a weight he's ready to carry.
I want to see one Esteban Chaves really competitive for 3 weeks. I know now I can do it because in the Vuelta is 3 weeks in the best level, so I want to try to do similar this year. This is the important for me. We did some recons for the TT and also for another stage in the gravel. It's typical in the Giro, you know, small routes, hard climbs, long climbs, maybe bad weather in the 3rd week. But we need to train about this also. But I know look every time the course. More and less. No make me crazy about this. And we wait for May.
Another man carrying the expectation of a nation is Rafal Majka. The 26-year-old is attempting to become Poland's first Grand Tour winner. It's 2 years since his last Giro, and Majka's always fared well in the Corsa Rosa with 2 top 10s. Without Alberto Contador to deflect attention, Majka is now a marked man.
I want to try the Giro this year, and last year I don't do it. I do it the Tour and Vuelta, and this year I want to try top 3 in the Giro. For sure it's stress, but not like the Tour de France. There's a lot of pressure, and this is a little bit different. I also stay in Italy. That's for me very nice. I know also pretty well Italian, and so happy when it's some also Polish people scream Majka in the climb.
With a typical big atmosphere on the roads, this Giro d'Italia is set to be one for the history books. That's all for this week. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you soon. Until then, keep up to date with us on social media.